Cool. And next up, we have Marissa.
I'm going to sit for this one, actually, with you guys up here.
Yeah, join us. It's cozy.
Awesome.
All right, take it away.
Great. Hi, we're Spontivly. We empower community teams with simple data dashboards without the need for a data engineer. Every business is building a community now. Whether you're looking to increase the number of women in tech, or you're gathering your customers around your product, building a community is a vital part of your company. But we rarely stop to think about how hard it is to build and maintain these communities. That's why I want to chat with you about someone named Sally. Sally is the community manager for her company, let's say SalesLoft. She engages with new and existing customers both in person and online. She runs programs and events to engage with her community. And from the customer's perspective, Sally is the face of the company. But Sally has this huge problem. She has no tangible data or insights into her community because it is scattered all over the place across many different tools and platforms that don't speak to each other. Platforms like HubSpot, Zoom, and Slack. She could spend hours collecting this data, but that's way too time-consuming. And we see hundreds of new job listings for community manager positions. In the past year alone, this market has grown by 26%, bringing the total value of this market to a staggering $5.3 billion. Believe it or not, there is currently no solution that directly addresses Sally's problem in the market right now. If Sally wanted to fix this, she would have to hire a senior back-end data engineer to collect the endpoints and use a front-end display tool like Looker or Tableau to display this data. And that could cost her upwards of $300,000 per year. That's why our customers love us. We have an NPS of 80. On average, our customers are paying $583 per month over 2.5 years. And we have a diverse team of ex-IBMers and community builders working to solve this problem. Myself, I'm co-founder and COO. I'm also a community builder by trade. I grew a founder community by 45% month over month. Anthony Nagandraz is in the crowd, and he's our co-founder and CEO. He has over 10 years of experience working with companies like IBM and Microsoft, where he worked on Power BI. Our senior lead engineer, his name is Marcelo, and he has over 15 years of experience working with companies like Google and Amazon. We recently closed a pre-seed round led by LOI Ventures and oversubscribed our bridge backed by Mark Cuban companies. We're going to be closing a $2.5 million seed round in the coming months, and I already have 75% committed from previous investors. If anyone here is interested in learning more about communities or in our opportunity, please reach out to me and my team directly. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm interested.
Thank you.
So this is for Rachel. Rachel, come here. So Rachel runs our community and our social. And I want to ask Rachel, like, what do we do with this? So, like, we have, no, I'm not kidding. We have, like, the largest global community of women in the workplace. And, like, we want to connect the dots. And so we have people coming in from 100 countries. We have so many data points. Yep. And I want you to analyze our community and tell me what to do. Like, I have no idea. And so we have, you know, we have so many channels. And so I want to know, like, what do we do with, what is it called?
Spontively.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, with the female quotient, tell me how we would use it. Like,
100%.
I understood you were saying, like, Sally, but what does Sally do for us?
Absolutely. So I myself actually used to run programming for an accelerator, and this was a problem that I experienced firsthand. So basically, what would happen to me often in my jobs, and I worked for a lot of nonprofits where this happened as well, I would run all these programs and events that I knew were generating leads and were generating ROI. But I had a really hard time proving that because, like, some people are on Eventbrite, some people engage with me on Slack, some people engage with me on Twitter, some people engage with me in various different channels. And so I knew that my programs had value, but I wasn't able to showcase any of those ROI metrics. So we help organizations, first of all, identify who are your brand influencers, who's advocating for you that you should be putting up on a pedestal. We also help them evaluate ROI, and that really depends on what their ROI was defined when they first started their community. But metrics like that are things that we can help identify and pinpoint. and we bring it down to a granular level, so I'm actually pulling data on each individual person. This event, for example, I would be able to track who showed up. Hey, did Marissa promote this event before she got here? And then did Marissa start engaging with Springboard after? Should we make Marissa a brand advocate? So questions like that are all questions that we answer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think what's so great, I mean, being a community professional for like 10 years, I love this. And their community, like the whole industry has grown so much in the last 10 years, and there still aren't that many tools that community people love. But the great news is that when community people do love a tool, it spreads because community people are part of communities. And so if they like something, they share it. I mean, things like Orbit, like other, I think, community tools that are popping up, like either it spreads like wildfire and everyone starts using it, or it kind of dies. So it sounds like you're getting really good traction so far. What is kind of your next milestone, or like what's your ask?
For sure. So our ask right now, we're raising the $2.5 million seed round. That's going to bring me to around 2 to 4 million in ARR. So I currently have 64 people using the platform. We're generating about $35,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So we're going to use that capital to scale up the backend data infrastructure, as well as to scale up our team. We went enterprise a lot faster than we thought, so we had a lot of mid-tier to enterprise-sized customers reaching out. So we're just working to scale up the team and the product to get it there.
Cool, amazing. Let's jump into Ashley.
For the sake of time, I have so many questions.
Yes, like,
That's okay.
We all know how important community is, whether you're a founder, whether you're a powerhouse like FQ, which Shelly has built, or even a VC fund. The power of community is, look at this room, incredible. And I think you being able to partner with any company, no matter what it looks like in whatever industry, is huge. So I can see this company being massive. I want to break down your business model because I don't know how you're charging. Is it based on a tier? Is it based on what you're analyzing, how you're grouping that data, and then how are you spitting out that data to them? Is it in a report? Are you giving them strategies to basically move forward? Are you, what does that contract look like? Is this like an annual thing or based on event projects?
Absolutely. So right out the gates, we're a B2B SaaS. I do monthly pricing, and I do it based on user. Again, we've moved from sort of in the SMB space, we moved up from to like mid-tier and enterprise. So an average contract for a mid-sized company is about $25,000 annual, and it can go upwards of $100,000 for an enterprise company. Okay. In terms of how the tool works, it's actually super simple. It's drag and drop data dashboards. So you can think of it like Canva, but with data. So basically, you choose the data point that you would like to collect. So like, I would like to know, the users who are attending events. Great, so I would go into the Eventbrite point, and I would select what type of chart I want that to be. So I want that to be in a timeline view. And I'll put that on my dashboard. I can click Save as Template, and I can share that with my team. That's the general sort of concept of it. Does that, there was a few questions packed in. Does that kind of answer?
That's great. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Ricky, why don't we jump to you?
I love this platform.
Thank
I
you.
was over here, my eyes were, I was just blinking so much. I love it. One, just to sort of underscore what you said around community, I work with so many people, and they are really trying to figure out community, big summits. So the future of community is these digital campfire discussions, like what you've been doing for years. So people come to summits and conferences so that they can have coffee, they can meet up with people. So the idea of community is really evolving, and it is accelerating at a rate that we can't measure. And the fact that I think what you should lead with as a communications person, lead with the Canva with data, because it gives such a visual storytelling without you having to use, I think about the economy of words. So if you can, make that a little more succinct and say, we are Canva with data, because it will give everyone that visual storytelling, because everyone in this room knows Canva or has used Canva. It's also a Springboard company, snaps and claps. But it does sort of draw you in. So I think, one, love the pitch. I think you hit the who, what, when, where, why, because, the how, all of that in your time. Is there, in addition to the raise, as you're building community, I guess I would ask, because AI obviously is evolving and helping to augment products. So how do you envision, or how do you see your company sort of collaborating with the world of AI to augment what you do?
Absolutely, and I love this question. We actually, when we heard about ChatGPT, like our entire team insisted on doing a hands-on meeting. And in the nerdiest fashion, like we spent 2 hours talking about it. It was awesome. And genuinely, I think that it's going to end up being a lot of predictive connections between people. Because one thing that community builders are always trying to do is facilitate connections amongst people without them having to actually be the ones to push the ball forward. So I think that AI and things like that are really going to help us do predictive connections and actually speed up the process of community building. So, hey, these two people have similar interests. They're probably both founders. Why don't we connect them? And on the backside, we pull the data analytics around what happens within those connections and if those connections are of any value.
Yeah, awesome. Any last words, Randall?
I thought you nailed it. I thought this was
Thank
like
you.
super easy to follow. You did a great job of, talking about what the problem is, why you're the solution, why you have the team to execute it, and then building some FOMO because you're just like, look, this is going. Everything we're doing is oversubscribed. It's almost fully committed. Get in. If you want some of this, it's going fast. And so, like, yeah, we were both reaching for our checkbooks over
It's not my
here.
first rodeo. It's not my first
I was reaching for your checkbook. I wasn't reaching for mine.
I
love
thought you
it.
did a fantastic job.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would say the last thing, just because like from trying out so many different tools, I think some community folks also kind of have this they're not going to be convinced that easily. And to like commit to something and like put users through it or put like the team through it is like gets kind of traumatic, honestly, after a while. So I think like talking about some customer testimonials would probably be super helpful too. Like we work with X, Y, and Z, and they have loved us. And then NPS is a great stat, but yeah, and I'd love to chat with you after because would love to like nerd out on community stuff with you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.